It's another big week in Dallas, and the 2024 NFL trade deadline is fast approaching. With the Cowboys sitting at 3-3 after the bye week, there's a lot of buzz around what Jerry Jones and the front office are planning. But if you were hoping for some big roster moves to boost the team, you might want to lower those expectations. According to recent reports, Jerry Jones has made it clear the Cowboys won't be making any trades before the deadline. In today's video, we're going to break down Jerry's comments, what this means for the Cowboys season, and why it feels like Dallas is once again brushing off opportunities to address the team's glaring weaknesses. And before we dive into all of that, make sure to subscribe to Cowboys News TV and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. We're closing in on 12,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can reach that milestone. So if you love staying up to date with all things Cowboys, this is the channel for you. Alright, Cowboys fans, here we are. The trade deadline is just days away, and the Cowboys are facing a crucial test against the San Francisco 49ers this Sunday. Sitting at 3-3, the Cowboys are just one game back in the NFC East, so there's plenty to play for. But with the trade deadline looming on November 5th, many fans, including myself, have been wondering whether the Cowboys would make any moves to fill some obvious holes on the roster. It's no secret that the Cowboys' running game hasn't been up to par, and the wide receiver room could use a boost. But according to a report from The Athletic's Diana Rossini, Jerry Jones doesn't plan on making any changes before the trade deadline. That's right, despite all the talk about being all in for 2024, Jerry is reportedly content with where the roster stands. So the question is, should we be surprised by this? Honestly, probably not. Now, let me turn this over to you, Cowboys Nation. Do you think Jerry Jones should make a trade before the deadline, or are you fine with the current roster? Type trade now if you want to see some moves, or stay the course if you think the Cowboys can figure it out with what they've got. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see where everyone stands on this. And don't forget, if you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that like button to help us out with YouTube's algorithm. Your support really helps the channel grow, and we appreciate each and every one of you who tunes in. Let's take a closer look at why this news shouldn't really shock anyone. Jerry Jones has a history of standing pat when the trade deadline rolls around, even when it's clear that the Cowboys could benefit from some outside help. We saw it last year, and honestly, we've seen it year after year. Despite the Cowboys' struggles, Jerry has often chosen not to address the team's weaknesses mid-season. Take the running back position, for example. Ezekiel Elliott has been phased out, Rico Dowdle has had some bright spots but isn't a true workhorse, and Tony Pollard, while talented, hasn't been the same since his injury. There's a clear need for another playmaker in the backfield, yet here we are, approaching the trade deadline with no moves in sight. And let's not forget about wide receiver. The Cowboys' receiving core, outside of CeeDee Lamb, has been inconsistent. Brandon Cooks has missed time with injury, and the younger guys like Jalen Tolbert and Ryan Flournoy are still developing. Adding another weapon could open up the offense, but again, Jerry seems to be fine with the status quo. So let's throw this out there. Which position do you think the Cowboys need to address the most? Type running back if you think the Cowboys should be looking for more help in the backfield, or type wide receiver if you think they need to focus on adding another pass catcher. Let me know what you think in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're closing in on 12,000 subscribers, and your support helps us bring you the best Cowboys coverage around. Now, here's where things get interesting. Jerry Jones has been talking about being all in for 2024, but when you look at his actions, or lack thereof, it's hard to believe that. Sure, the Cowboys have made some moves in the past, like trading for Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks earlier this year. But when it comes to addressing the team's in-season needs, Jerry seems reluctant. It's almost as if he's content with seeing how things play out, and if the team doesn't make the playoffs, well, Mike McCarthy becomes the scapegoat. We've seen this play out before. Remember Wade Phillips? Jason Garrett? Jerry has a history of putting the blame on the coaching staff when things go wrong, rather than addressing the roster issues that could help the team succeed. And speaking of McCarthy, this season feels like a make-or-break moment for him. If the Cowboys don't turn things around, don't be surprised if Jerry pulls the plug on the McCarthy era and starts looking for his next head coach. What do you all think? Is Jerry really all in for 2024, or is he just setting things up to blame McCarthy if things go south? Type all in if you believe Jerry is serious about making a run this year, or type scapegoat if you think McCarthy is the fall guy waiting to happen. I'm really curious to hear your take on this one. And hey, while you're typing, make sure you hit that like button and share this video with fellow Cowboys fans. Let's get the conversation going. So, what happens next for the Cowboys? Well, this week's game against the 49ers is going to be crucial. If the Cowboys can pull off a win, they'll head into Week 8 with a lot more confidence. But if they fall to 3-4, the pressure is going to mount, and fans are going to be asking why no moves were made before the trade deadline. And let's be real, Jerry knows that the fan base is going to be watching closely. The Cowboys are always under the microscope, and if the team struggles down the stretch, the questions about whether they should have made moves at the deadline will only get louder. But as it stands right now, it looks like Jerry is betting on this roster to figure things out on their own. Whether or not that's the right call, only time will tell. Alright, let's set the stage. It has been a rough start to the 2024 season for the Cowboys. After a 3-3 record, fans are understandably frustrated. The offense hasn't been clicking, the defense has been inconsistent, and it feels like something's gotta give. Many fans have been calling for changes, whether it's firing head coach Mike McCarthy, making adjustments to the coaching staff, or even seeing Jerry Jones step aside as general manager. So, when the news broke earlier this week that a Dallas coach was fired, you can imagine the reaction. Cowboys fans everywhere had their fingers crossed, hoping it was McCarthy or someone from the Cowboys organization. But not so fast. The fired coach wasn't from the Cowboys, it was from the WNBA's Dallas Wings, who let go of their head coach Latricia Trammell. Yup, you heard that right. Cowboys fans got excited only to be let down. The wrong Dallas team made the headlines. So let's throw it out there, were you one of the Cowboys fans who got your hopes up when you saw Dallas coach is fired trending? Drop a thumbs up emoji in the comments if you were. And while you're at it, hit that like button so we can spread the word and keep the conversation going. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more Cowboys content on the way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's talk about what this all really means for the Cowboys. As much as fans may be fed up with the coaching staff, the reality is that Jerry Jones doesn't typically fire head coaches mid-season. We've seen this play out before, whether it was Jason Garrett or Wade Phillips. Jerry tends to ride out the season before making any drastic changes, and from what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like Mike McCarthy's seat is hot enough for Jones to pull the trigger just yet. It's clear that the Cowboys are struggling, but for now, it looks like McCarthy's job is safe, at least until the offseason. And as for the idea of Jerry Jones stepping down as general manager, well, that's even more unlikely. Jerry has been in control of this team for decades, and there's no sign that he plans on giving up his power anytime soon. In fact, the only way Jerry Jones is likely to step away is if he's no longer able to physically run the team. As long as he's still around, Cowboys fans should expect him to be calling the shots for better or worse. Now, I want to hear from you all. Do you think Mike McCarthy will finish the season as the Cowboys head coach? Type yes if you think he survives, or type no if you think Jerry Jones will eventually pull the plug before the season ends. Let's see what Cowboys Nation thinks about this one. And remember, if you're enjoying this video, smash that like button, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always up to date on the latest Cowboys news and rumors. So, what does this mean for Cowboys fans moving forward? Well, unfortunately, it means we might have to wait until the offseason for any big changes. If the Cowboys continue to underperform, Mike McCarthy's future will certainly be a hot topic, but as of right now, it looks like we're stuck with the current coaching staff for at least the rest of this season. There's still time to turn things around. The Cowboys are only one game back in the NFC East, and with some key games ahead, the team could make a push for the playoffs. But if the struggles continue and the team doesn't make a serious run, you can bet that Cowboys Nation will be calling for heads to roll, starting with McCarthy. And who knows? If things really spiral, Jerry Jones might have no choice but to make changes. Alright, Cowboys Nation, that's going to do it for today's video. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Are you expecting any major changes in the coaching staff this season, or do you think we'll have to wait until the off-season for anything to happen? Drop your thoughts below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all the latest Cowboys news, rumors, and analysis. We're close to 12,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can hit that mark. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Go Cowboys!